I'd like to call this November 13th, 2025 rescheduled regular board meeting of the Medina City Schools Board of Education to order. Would you all please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance? Mr. Chambers, would you please call roll when you're ready?
Mr. Nichols?
Here.
Ms. Parkhurst?
Here.
Ms. Pritchard?
Here.
Ms. Moyer?
Here.
Mr. West?
Here.
Thank you.
First up is the approval of the regular board meeting minutes from October the 14th. I would entertain a motion on that.
So moved.
Thank you.
I'll second.
Thank you. Any questions or comments on those meetings from the October 14th meeting from anybody? Hearing none, Mr. Chambers, please.
Ms. Pritchard?
Aye.
Mr. Nichols?
Aye.
Ms. Parkhurst?
Aye.
Ms. Moyer?
Aye.
Mr. West?
Yes.
Thank you.
Are there any additions, removals, modifications to the agenda from anybody?
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Thank you. Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
Thank you. Any questions or comments on that from anybody? No? Hearing none. Mr. Chambers, please.
Ms. Parkhurst?
Aye.
Mr. Nichols?
Aye.
Ms. Pritchard?
Aye.
Ms. Moyer?
Aye.
Mr. West?
Yes.
Thank you.
First up, Superintendent Communications, Information and Discussion Items. Mr. Sable, it's your floor.
Good evening. It's nice to see such a large crowd here, and I think we are projecting our voices a little better tonight. It sounds louder and clearer. I'd like to start by recognizing and congratulating our newly elected board members, and I'm going to ask you to stand. Vicki Drewley. So congratulations to Vicki. And as I think most know, Vicki's been a support of Medina City Schools for some time, leading Kids First and working with legislation and financial and levy efforts. And then Erin Hare. And Erin has been a member of our finance committee, working in the background with the nitty-gritty with Dave and the community committee group, not only on levy information and updates, but also day-to-day operations and finances. Thank you. So both of them will be sworn in at our January organizational meeting. So next month is the last meeting. They're replacing Becky Parkhurst and Joe Nichols. And we'll have a few things to say about you at your last board meeting next month. All good. Next up, Veterans Day Essay Contest winners. As you know, we honored our veterans on Tuesday during Veterans Day, very special day in the district. Assemblies across our buildings honoring the parents and grandparents, great-grandparents, and community members. I know it's a recognition day that's near and dear to me with my dad being in Vietnam and my uncles in various branches. So it's always special when we come to this time of year that we're lucky to be able to work with our VFW through their efforts with our students at our middle schools. So this evening and every November, we get to recognize our essay contest winners, and I'd like to invite Amy Busby up at this time.
All right, good evening. Since about 2019, we have partnered with the American Legion Post 202 on their Veterans Day contest. And this contest was made possible by the Legion and was open to all of our middle school students grades 6 through 8. The students were asked to answer the question, what does Veterans Day mean to me? And this evening, it's my honor and pleasure to present the winners of this year's essay contest on behalf of the Legion members who are not able to be here this evening. Each of the first place winners at each grade level will recite their essay and receive a certificate and a monetary award. We will also recognize the second and third place winners at each grade level and present them with a certificate and a monetary award. Each of these awards have been graciously sponsored by the American Legion Post 202, who continues to support this initiative. At the end of this presentation, I want to invite all the students to join me right across the hall into the PDC, because we're going to get a group picture that we can share not only with the Legion, but also with our community. So without further ado, I would like to introduce Kayla Claypool. She is a sixth grader at Claggett, and she's going to come up and recite her essay. Do you want this? Are you okay?
What Veterans Day Means to Me by Kayla Claypool. Veterans Day is an important holiday that we celebrate every year on November 11th. It's a time to honor all the men and women who have served in the United States military. To me, Veterans Day means showing respect and appreciation to the people who worked hard to protect our country and freedom. When I think about veterans, I imagine people who are brave, strong, and willing to help others. Many of them had to leave their families and go far away to serve. Some faced scary and dangerous situations, but they didn't give up. They kept going because they wanted to keep us safe. I think that takes a lot of courage and heart. Veterans also reminds me to be thankful. I get to go to school, play sports, and spend time with my family because of the sacrifices veterans made. On this day, we can show our gratitude by saying thank you, writing letters, or attending ceremonies at school or in our community. To me, Veterans Day isn't just another day off. It's a day to remember real heroes who fought for what was right. It teaches me to appreciate what I have and to always respect the people who served our country. Veterans Day means being proud to be an American and thankful for those who made it possible. Something to remember is that it's November 11th to honor and respect the men and women who served in the military and to say thank you for all that they have done. Thank you.
Next, I'm going to invite Olivia Zikafus. Did I say that right? Yeah. Okay. She is the second place winner from the sixth grade. She is a Claggett student of Mr. Baker. All right, and the third place winner is Grace Banner, and she is a sixth grade student of Mrs. Wymera at Root, and unfortunately she was not going to be able to attend this evening, so I'm going to give this to Mrs. Hardery, and she'll take care of that for me. Okay, now we're on to seventh grade, and I'd like to welcome Everin Yanmaz to this podium, and he's here to read his essay.
What Veterans Day means to me. To me, Veterans Day serves as a profound reminder of courage and sacrifice. It is a day to honor the men and women who have served for the United States Armed Forces, those who have dedicated their lives to safeguarding our nation and defending the freedoms we cherish today. Veterans Day is not nearly about recalling history. It is about recognizing the individuals who have shaped our country through bravery and sacrifice. When I reflect on Veterans Day, I consider the true meaning of sacrifice. Many veterans left behind families, friends, and homes to serve a greater cause than themselves. Some returned back home forever changed, while others made the ultimate sacrifice of never coming back. Their courage reminds me that freedom carries a price, and it is our duty as citizens to appreciate the peace and security they help secure. This day also compels me to act to express gratitude, not only through words but through respect and kindness. Whether attending a Veterans Day ceremony, writing a letter of thanks, or simply listening to a veteran's story, every gesture of appreciation holds significance. Veterans Day represents pride in our nation and deep respect for those who have served it. It reminds me that being an American is a privilege earned through sacrifices of others. To honor our veterans is to carry forward their legacy of courage, unity, and devotion to our country, today and always.
Okay, and next I'd like to invite Brantley Dimitrov up. He is the second place winner for 7th grade, and he is a root student of Mrs. Weaver. Okay, where's my 3rd place student? There we are. Ava Beamer is the 3rd place winner of the 7th grade contest, and she is a student at Root of Mr. Gambasini, and I'm not sure she's here this evening, so we'll hang on to this too. Okay. Then I would like to introduce Aaron Adkins. He is the 1st place winner in 8th grade, student of Mrs. Shook.
What does Veterans Day mean to you? Veterans Day is a day that honors those who serve, who fought for our country and sacrificed and put their lives on the line for us. However, some, maybe even most veterans believe that they were just doing their job and not really as heroes. I met a man who's a Vietnam War veteran on March 29th of this year during Girl Scout cookie season. March 29th also happens to be Vietnam War Veterans Day, a day celebrated for those who fought in the Vietnam War. During this time, while he was at our booth, he talked about what he did, but the main thing I took away from that is that he did not want to be called a hero. Not directly to him, even though many would still see him as such. He said that many veterans believe that they are not heroes and just people doing their jobs. However, most people view them as heroes because of the sacrifice they have made to go into a job such as the U.S. military, whether it be the Navy, Army, Air Force, Space Force, Marine Corps, or Coast Guard. They risk their lives, risk their quality of life, and risk not knowing if they've ever see their family again for the safety and honor of their country. Veterans Day is also a day to honor those who risked everything for their country, for their people, and for their families and friends to have a better life. That's what Veterans Day means to me. A day for those who took this job not knowing the risks and not saying no to the duty of the job. Those who gave their lives and went in knowing that they may never come back. To those who are serving now, knowing that they may never return to their homes and to the country in which they have served, yet taking the risk for those who love. Veterans Day is a day to honor the risks of those who protected this country with their lives, to see other people happy, and to see their rights protected. And to those who took that risk, we salute them. We give them the highest honor, not as heroes, but not as the grandest of saviors. We see them, but as people with families, with lives, with dreams, who risked it all to protect our nation. We give them the greatest honor for their service. We salute them for generations to come, and it shall never be forgotten what they gave and risked for our country, for our people, for our rights, for our freedom, and for our lives today.
Okay, an 8th grade second place winner is Connor Murray. Is he here? Okay, he's not here. So we'll make sure that he gets his award. And then finally we have Sydney, and I'm going to not probably say your name right. I'm really sorry. Sutundar. Are you here? She's the 3rd place winner in the 8th grade. Okay. Well, thank you very much. Congratulations to all the students. And I just really want to take a moment to thank the middle school building principals for helping coordinate this essay contest with not only the district but the Legion, and for the teachers who help promote participation in this particular essay contest. I think it's an important interest and a very big way to show respect to our veterans. So thank you.
So, Amy, do you want to take them into the hall now, or you want to wait till after the? Now? Okay. So all of our contest winners, you're just going to go right across the hall so we can get a picture and put you up on our social media and share it with the Legion. Our next presentation for this evening, I'm excited to share with the board the hard work that's been going on at the high school related to our Portrait of a Bee, as well as college and career readiness, trying to reinvent what high school looks like to better meet the needs of our students and preparing them for their futures. This is work that is not only happening at the high school, but we recently had an administrative team meeting where we engaged in conversations of how there could be a trickle-down effect and impact work that's happening at our middle schools as well as at the elementary level. Dr. Tadona and Jackson, the floor is yours.
Well, good evening. Thank you for giving us the opportunity to share the exciting work, as Mr. Sable said, that is occurring across the district, and giving us a chance to highlight the exciting opportunities that are moving forward at the high school. There we go. So over the years, we have had many conversations with community stakeholders where the topic of career readiness has often come up. Thinking about what those experiences need to look like from the start throughout a student's educational experience to make sure that when they do leave Medina City Schools, they have a direction and a path that is right for them. It has been a commitment that we have had to the community first within our last strategic plan, and it was a topic that was at the forefront of our thinking when we put together our Portrait of a Bee competencies. Over the years, as we've thought about what this meant for our students in the classrooms, we were really struck by this idea that students cannot be what they cannot see. And how can we create those connections from preschool and elementary, middle school, and high school to give students an opportunity to explore what those career pathways mean for them? One of the areas that we really focused on thinking about creating career readiness framework connections was within our deeper learning work. And as many of the stories that have been shared with you at prior board meetings, you will see that through our partnerships with our community, we have been able to show students how what they're learning in the classroom has meaning and relevance to what happens outside of the walls of the school. When we really thought about what this meant at Medina, we leaned into the framework that was developed by the Ohio Department of Education and Workforce that prompted us to think about at the preschool and elementary levels. Our goal is to build career awareness, helping students to explore all of the different opportunities of careers that are around their community. As we move into the middle school years, we really focus on career exploration and giving students a chance to really understand their passions, their interests, and how that might relate to a career pathway. And what Dr. Dodona is going to talk about is our focus is thinking about at the high school career planning and what do those experiences need to entail over the 4 years to present that clarity to students before they graduate. So I will turn it over to her to talk more about the work that is occurring.
So this led us to the following driving question over at the high school, which is how can our systems and structures adapt to better prepare our students for their individual futures? And obviously that's a big undertaking given the size of our building, but it's something that we are incredibly passionate about. So we started by asking our various stakeholders just what they would like to see in the high school experience. And I think you can tell from here that they want something very individualized for their students or for themselves, if you're referencing the student perspective, as well as project-based, hands-on, engaged, purposeful for where it is that they are going. It needs to match their interests. They want to be prepared for the career that they are going into. So all of this sums up into making learning purposeful. How can we make learning purposeful for 2,000 different students that walk the halls of Medina High School? Easy, right? So we're doing this by exploring pathways and capstones. We've heard a lot about capstones, but we haven't heard as much about this idea of pathways yet. So our pathways are meant to meet those needs of our students. So how do we figure out what those pathways are? Is we look at our graduating seniors. So we took the past 4 years of senior data, because they fill out this form at the end of the year. It's essentially our senior census that tells us what their plans are and where they are trying to go and what journey they want to go on. So the data kind of speaks for itself, where we have a lot of future doctors and nurses and people in the medical field, followed by a lot of engineers or computer science people, followed by business, entrepreneurials. We have a lot of students going in a lot of different directions. So we took this information and created these 8 pathways. So you should see a very much alignment to the slide that we just saw, telling us where our students go, to what we are trying to explore over at the high school. And you'll see at the bottom there's an exploratory pathway, because we have students that don't know what they want to do yet. So they should have an opportunity to kind of explore everything. And our plan is to expose students to what it is that they're interested in prior to them embarking on just jumping straight into that career or jumping into a major that really they haven't kind of dipped their toes into yet. So our plan is to expose students sooner so that they can kind of see what their futures can look like and help them dream a little bigger and maybe see something that they don't know even exists yet. So one of the most powerful quotes was this from a staff member saying, if done with intentionality and inclusivity, this work has the power to transform how students experience school, not just as a place they attend, but as a space where they can grow, explore, and thrive. And that's our goal, is to meet those needs of all of our students in a way that is incredibly purposeful and intentional for their specific futures. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
Thank you. We just recently received our preliminary data from our strategic planning process through the surveys as well as the focus groups. And it's really impressive how in tune some of this work is that we're doing in terms of what the wants and needs that are expressed through those surveys that we received, especially from our students. We had several hundred students at the middle school and the high school complete the survey. We had over 1,000 community members and parents complete the survey, and we had hundreds of staff members complete the survey. And these themes in terms of having a connection and ownership, a purpose, having a path that's more directed is reoccurring. So we're going to be sharing that information out with the board in the coming months as we continue to process it. I think we're going to see some of this work potentially tied in directly into our strategic plan. Just from what I have seen with the preliminary information, which was actually just this afternoon before I came here tonight. So it's that fresh.
Mr. Sable, if
Sure.
I may add something. Dr. Tudela, thank you for your presentation this evening. I do appreciate this aligns. I know not all of our students go to college, but I have 2 that are recently still are in college right now, and college, they want them to apply to a specific college or interest right away. Those days of, they do have that exploratory non-major decided, but those days are kind of going by the wayside. So it is important that in high school, they explore and see what they're interested in and learn. I know from my own experience, there were things I didn't know were careers when I was in high school that now my kids do. So I appreciate all the work that has gone into this and the intentionality. Also for our students that are not college bound, it is important to know what you're interested in as a career, or whether you want to go to the Career Center or take an associate's degree or an apprenticeship or go straight into the workforce. It's important to be exposed to those things so that you can be something that you have seen, right? And get out there and explore your passions and find out what they are and contribute. So I appreciate all the work that has gone into this. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, the direction piece, my own experience, my daughter's a junior at Ohio State, just changed majors this year. I wish she was able to have more exploration even before college in making those decisions. Next up, I'd like to invite Principal Newton. Elle Canavan is our presenting school this evening.
Thank you so much for giving us the opportunity to share some of the work that we're doing at Ella Canavan. So I am always really proud of the collaboration that takes place at Canavan, especially when we are faced with a challenge. So tonight my goal is to highlight the collaboration that we do have at Canavan, specifically with a problem that came up this year in August with our kindergartners and their low language scores. So before we dive too much into the presentation, I do want to give you a little bit of background on our kindergarten class. So when they came in August, we know that 82% had attended preschool, which is a pretty high percentage. When you think about basically 4 out of every 5 kindergartners had attended preschool, working on those pre-academic school skills, being in a classroom setting, that to us was a really high percentage that we were excited to see. But we also know that this group of students have experienced some unique circumstances. Being born between 2019 and 2020, these are our true COVID babies. So we also knew that, they had some disrupted social interactions. They had varied learning environments of what those preschool settings, daycare settings might have looked like. So every year at Ella Canavan, we do a speech screener. Our speech pathologist is amazing. She works one-on-one with every student in those first couple of weeks. And what she does is she sees who is proficient in basic language skills, because we know how important those are for future success. You can see from 2023 to 2024, we were in that 80% proficient coming in August. However, this year in August, students were only at about 68% proficient. So our team knew that this was an area that we had to hit. We had to hit hard, and we needed to pull all of the tools out of our toolbox to really target this and help get our students in a place to be able to be successful. So I'm going to pass it off to 2 members of our team tonight. Katie Allen is one of our reading intervention specialists, and Heather Pantoja is one of our kindergarten teachers.
Okay, so let's start with what are language concepts. So in kindergarten, what do we want to focus on? We want to talk about vocabulary, sentence structure, how to formulate a sentence, comprehension, answering WH questions, verbal expression, being able to express their needs. So all of these are official building blocks for future academic success. So gaps in these language skills will affect following multi-step directions. That's something we need for daily life, whether it be in school or outside. Express their daily needs clearly. Engage fully in classroom activities. So without targeted intervention for the 68% of, those that weren't on at grade level, we needed to work with them now in kindergarten so that they didn't have reading difficulties, social challenges, or academic struggles throughout school. So we brainstormed, we worked with our, Mrs. Newton talked about, our SLP, our speech and language teacher, kindergarten teachers, our reading intervention, and we really wanted to target this area throughout their entire day. So these are our top 5 areas of where we addressed this. We committed to having rich conversations in the classroom. We found that our morning meeting setting, where we do a lot of our SEL work, was a perfect place to do that. Teachers would ask questions and model how to ask and answer questions, and then that eventually became a student-led process where students were asking. You can see in the top picture that students are asking and answering questions to each other. We went on to do interactive read-alouds. We know that that's something that happens in early elementary a lot. So teachers were reading books aloud to kids, but they were very purposeful. The questions that they were asking, the predictions they were making, the vocabulary that they were addressing. We knew which kids needed what skills, so we knew exactly who to ask those questions to and how to help those individuals. We also do something in kindergarten called purposeful play. Every kindergarten classroom has these rich play environments where children can practice their language skills in authentic ways. Some examples of that are stores, building blocks, farming scenarios that go with our CKLA knowledge unit. So the two that we really want to focus on with you tonight are these bottom two areas. So we incorporated a deeper learning project that focused highly on this language building. And we also then had students be taken out of the classroom at some point during the day to work in a small group with our reading intervention teachers, myself, and this is where we targeted the very specific skills that they needed. So first we're going to talk about the deeper learning project.
Okay. Hi, I'm Heather Pantoja.
I'm Nikki Peppard.
And we are part of the kindergarten team. And in the summer, I was fortunate enough to be able to participate in the project-based learning program that the district offered us to learn more about project-based learning. And there, with Jess White, we had planned a project-based learning
About bringing stories to life.
Yeah, about bringing stories to life, how stories can come alive. And so that was in the summer. And then when we came to school, little did I know that our kindergartners would be struggling with the language. But my team, we got together and we decided that this project was very important now to help develop those language skills. So we knew we wanted to do this project. It was can we make stories come alive? And so knowing that we wanted to do this, we wanted to provide background knowledge for our kindergartners. So our first unit in CKLA has to do with nursery rhymes. And we would practice retelling nursery rhymes, helping develop that language. And we had our fifth graders, if you can see in the corner, they acted out the nursery rhymes for us. So they were showing our kindergartners how stories can come alive. They were showing the nursery rhymes come alive. So in project-based learning, the first step is you have to launch your project and have it pose a problem. So we reached out to the Medina County District Library and told her about the project that we wanted to do. And so she I don't know how to make it go, but she posed this problem to our kindergartners.
Hello? Is this thing on? Oh, hi everybody. Miss Jennifer here from the Medina County District Library. You know the one, just off the square. I'm sending you this message because we need your help. We know how exciting reading can be, but not every kid knows that. That's why we need you to help us show how exciting stories can be. I mean, look how quiet it is in here. Maybe if you can help us make reading come alive for our readers, they'll remember how much they love reading, and then they'll come check out lots of books. Otherwise, I'll just have to keep reading stories to Percy, and he's not a very good listener. Plus, he keeps eating all of our books. Percy, not in front of the students. Anyway, I think you're just the group for the job. Mrs. Pantoja told me this was a class of really good readers. So what do you say? Can you help us make stories come alive so that people get excited about reading books?
So that was the problem. She posed the problem to our kindergartners. Then all of our classes, step 2, we gathered our kiddos together, and they had to discuss and share their ideas on how they thought they could make stories come alive. And the discussion and just promoted more oral language as they had to explain their ideas. And so as we read various stories in our CKLA unit, they were repeatedly using language skills to retell stories. Okay, and then so step 3, students were given voice and choice. They had to discuss and generate ideas on how they wanted to make their story come alive. They talked about acting it out as they had seen the 5th graders do. Throughout the unit, they were constantly retelling. We did puppet shows. And so then one of my groups wanted to make a video game. And I was like, well, we can't make a video game, but we could make a game board. So they talked about how game boards could make stories come alive. But whenever they were sharing their ideas, we're constantly encouraging them, and when in retells, to stretch their ideas, stretch their sentence as they shared what they were thinking. Like if they said because or something, we tried to give them sentence starters and things like that to help them stretch their stories. They also had voice and choice in which story they wanted to present. So step 4 is the project is not just a dessert activity. It's something they worked on continually throughout the whole unit. So like I said before, continually practicing, using story maps, telling the beginning, middle, and end. And it was really neat to see because each time they retold a story, you could hear their language growing as they added on and to their sentences and stuff. So, revisiting the project throughout the year promoted language skills. They also had to give feedback to one another, which is an important part of project-based learning. So it was neat to see them. They had to learn how to give
feedback.
Not criticism, and how to take it, which as adults even that's hard. But just how to phrase their words and speak to each other in a polite way, and also how to speak clearly. So if you were giving feedback, speak clearly so people on your team understood what you were saying. So it expanded their sentences and vocabulary with each, and then expanded their sentences and vocabulary with each retell. So then finally, step 5, after they've worked on their project throughout the unit, they would give feedback, they would make adjustments. Step 5 is presenting their project, and we've chosen to present it to the community. Still a work in progress, but we are right now there. We're recording their retells, and we're going to create a QR code for it, so then when the public, they can go to the library and take whatever you do with the QR code. Take a picture of it, I don't know. And then they will see that our kindergartners making those stories come alive.
And hopefully inspire younger readers.
Yeah, and they also, as they are presenting, they have to know, unlike how I'm doing right now, that they need to speak clearly and slowly so that, their audience can understand them and hear them. So they worked on a lot of oral language skills. So here's some,
Then the medium goat then crossed the bridge, and the troll said, "Who's that trying over my bridge?" Then the big goat went on the bridge and said, "Trot, then the troll says, who's that trick trying over my bridge? And the big builder knocked the troll off the bridge, and then he got his yummy grass. Once upon a time, there was a little chicken. She was going on a walk, and soon later, he came under a tree and an acorn fell on her head. And she saw the sky was falling, so she went to go tell the king. And then she met Penny Penny. Penny Penny, the sky is falling. How do you know? A piece of it fell on my forehead. Then let us go to the key. And she kept on walking until she met Goosey Lucy. Goosey Lucy, the sky is falling. How do you know? A piece of it fell on my forehead. Then let us go to the key. And she kept on walking.
Oh, okay. So when we did our Stories Come Alive project, it met the
Core competencies.
As collaborators, as they worked together to create their final project, problem solvers as they were working together, trying to figure out what part someone was going to do, or in the retell on the story map, who's going to do the beginning, the middle, the end, respectful citizens, just communicating nicely and respectfully to one another, and communicators, which was the whole project, just communicating and talking to one another.
All right, the last part that we want to talk about is what we did in small group. So something we worked on in small group with children was sentence formulation. I put up exact pre and post answers that a little girl of mine that I worked with had. Walking the baby turned into a mom is walking the baby in a stroller. Them are swinging. You can kind of see that her is running, and how we need to formulate that. We worked with prepositions. I have a little friend here that we had little frogs, not the dogs there, but we had those frogs all over our school, working on, in, under, in front of, just bringing it into our everyday work. We did a lot of sentence repetition, storytelling also in small group. It was October, so we joined in with the month's pumpkins and the witches. We did receptive and expressive conversations, talking about how things are alike and different. It was very interesting. You'd never know that a child didn't know that a bird goes in a nest. But these are things that we found in the screener that we did that these kids were lacking. They didn't understand why and how things went together. So here's the big thing. This is what made us really excited. Here's our pre and our post. So you can look here and you can see that between each classroom, we have 3 classrooms, our August scores of what was below proficient, and then how much we grew by November. And then as a whole grade level, we are now at 93% passage.
I don't know if the board has any questions, but I do want to just thank the Canavan team for all of their work. And our speech pathologist is Catherine Voitkiv. She couldn't be here tonight, but she has done a lot of work that has really helped us be in a good spot with these kindergartners.
I'd just like to say, you look at a project like this, or this type of learning with even kindergartners, but it builds on everything. So by the time that they're adults, they're knowing how to do project-based projects in the real world, whether it's engineering or anything else, and how to work with others and how to clearly and concisely communicate. And it also shows that when you engage students with lots of fun things, it's a game with a purpose. You look at your numbers, that game with a purpose is proof in the pudding. So very good. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. The only other thing I wanted to add to what Mr. West said was I also love that the 5th graders were involved and we collaborated with the library, and just great work. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
My heart is full To have a group of our teachers come up here that participated, chose to participate in a summer workshop, see that reflected right at the beginning of the year into innovative classroom discussion, our teachers continuing to learn and grow, then using data to shape and determine the instruction for the specific class. So making sure that this class's needs are met, which are different than last year's, might be different than next year's, and pivoting in order to meet those needs. And then on top of it, the connection to our portrait and the use of the lingo. I don't know how many times Tina's talked to me about, we don't want dessert. So I appreciate you coming this evening and sharing. We need more teachers teaching like kindergarten teachers in the district. Last up is our committee presentations. Our curriculum, facilities, and policy committees have met this past month. So I'd like to invite Tina, as well as Ryan and Chris for committee presentations or committee updates.
All right, good evening. Our board curriculum committee met this Monday, and we had the same presentation that you guys just saw from Elisa on the high school pathways. And it's just, like Erin said, it's a very exciting thing to see our deeper learning and our career pathways merging together at the high school. And then to have that work, it will trickle down into the middle school and elementary school. So it is really exciting. And it's really a restructuring, so it wouldn't be adding additional staff. So we're going to do it with the staff that we have. We're just going to rethink how we are presenting the information. So that's really exciting. So that was one thing we did on Monday. And then another thing that we talked about was AI, which is also another that has a lot of implications for careers in the future. So it's something that we know that we need to be on top of and ahead of, and so we are spending this year really getting to know some of the AI applications for education. We have our January PD Day coming up, and the teachers will have an opportunity to attend a various number of AI sessions, so that is going to be very exciting. We also had special guest star Craig come to our board curriculum meeting, and he shared with us an AI statement that our district is working on, just to let our staff and our families know where we stand on AI in education. So that is what we did in board curriculum. Thank you.
Thank you. We, in the facility committee, we talked about we had to rebid the PAC roof. We got 3 competitive bids on that, and you have one on the agenda tonight to approve. So that was the main focus of the facility committee, as well as the 5-year capital improvement plan, which we will probably see again next facility committee meeting to go through it again. We had Andrew joined virtually, and we had small turnout, so we're going to do that again. Any questions? Thank you.
We had our policy committee meeting this month, and we, as we do every time we start with policy, we looked over a number of different policies. So the policy committee will have a month to digest those and look those over, and then we'll meet again in December to determine if they're ready for a first reading. There's nothing extremely controversial or anything where we would get the public's input. They're really all legally required updates. So nothing major to share, but just letting people know where the policy committee's at this time.
Mr. Chambers, you're up.
Hello, how are you?
Nice seeing you all again here. I know we met just about an hour ago for something else, but I want to talk to you about financials, our October financials. As we always do, we begin with the beginning balance as of July 1st, $41 million. We had $45 million in revenues and $31 million in expenditures since that time. Our ending balance as of, I thought I changed that to October. Our ending balance as of October was $50 million, and we had a decrease of $4 million from September's time. Our revenue, our total revenues as stated, $45 million. This is 44% of the 5-year forecast that was approved here in October. Real property taxes, $30,700,000. This is 24% over last year at this time and is a direct result of the levy that was passed in November of '24. State foundation is at $6.4 million. This is 5.9% over last year. And this is adjusted for student counts. This also includes our monies for what is the casino revenue itself. Our expenditures for the year, we $31 million overall. We're at 28% of our total expenditures, based again on the 5-year forecast that was approved here in October. Our personnel services, $18.8 million. This is 3% above the prior year. And you got to remember that in the prior year, July and August were at 27 pays, so that is in with the monies that are from July through October. Our benefits, $7.9 million. This is up 13.8%. Again, we must remember that our benefits increased, our medical benefits increased by 18% this year, so we're running about where we should be. And then our other expenditures, $5 million. This is up from the previous year itself, but all the categories are an increase, I believe, except for the supplies, which are below last year at this time. Our investments, this is a good thing, but we know this is going to be up because rates are up. So we're at $900,000 over the fiscal year, and this is up $139,000 from last year at this time. And finally, our forecasted funds, true days cash. We are at nearly 160 days in cash right now. If you look at this and compare it to last month we were higher in our categories for July, August, and September, and that is because we were using the May's forecast. Using the October forecast, it pushed us down a little bit as to our true days cash. And finally, all the information, as we state all the time, is on our website. We keep updating that with the information that's presented to the board here. Any questions? Thank you very much.
As soon as Mr. Chambers sits down, we'll have board communications. Who wants to go first? Any volunteers?
I'm not going first, but I do have a question.
Sure.
Just regarding committees. So you said, I believe Finance Committee is meeting next week. Is that correct? Okay, thank you.
Joe, you want to go first?
Sure, I guess. Since Becky's not going to go. You talked first. No, I actually don't have too much. Kind of everybody really covered what I had talked about in the superintendent presentations. I was at the curriculum committee. The AI conversation, I don't know if that was longer or shorter than expected. And if it was longer, that was probably my fault, just because I'm a programmer. I work with AI all the time. I had just a couple questions, nothing earth-shattering or anything like that, but just clarification questions of things that I've seen in my workplace that just wondering, if those had been thought of and if those conversations had started, which Craig was like, yeah, we've talked about them. And even Aaron said, yeah, those conversations, we're still having those, really massaging out exactly what we need. Even though Craig wanted all the AI stuff done like 5 months ago. rather than, 5 months from now. I'm sorry, I'm off the board after this. I can't help. But
You can still help.
yeah, if I got free time, I got other stuff scheduled. But in addition to that, the one other thing that I was going to say is, congratulations to everybody that had won this election cycle, especially the, I'll say 3 school board candidates, because I'll throw Jean into that, even though you didn't get called out as an elected official, newly elected, kind of. But Aaron, Vicky, congratulations. Welcome to the board. In January, you can't take my seat yet. I'm still using it. But it's a fun, interesting, crazy ride. But we can talk more about that off camera if need be. So yeah, that's about all that I really wanted to say today.
How about you, Miss Pritchard?
All right. I want to congratulate the Medina Students of the Month, Addison Slaw and Lewis Strong, and the Career Center, Sabrina Boyd, who's in engineering and technology and design. I attended the girls' district final soccer match where we beat Mags 1-0. Unfortunately, both the boys and the girls' soccer teams lost in the regional semifinals. I also attended the youth rugby camp, had over 100 kids, and it was kind of like herding cats with the little ones. I mean, they all wanted to throw, kick, and everything, but they settled down there towards the end. Girls cross country finished 8th in the state, boys was 20th, and I'd like to congratulate all the athletes as it's coming out in the paper. I know some of you don't know what a paper is, but I do. Making all state and all conference teams. The debate and speech team was one of 4 schools from Ohio to be selected as a leading chapter. And if any of you have any extra money, they are looking for funds for their trip to Harvard. You can just write a check out to the debate team and drop it off at the high school or mail it in. This Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, the Drama Club is putting on Peter and the Starcatcher. Friday and Saturday are at 7, and Sunday is at 2. Holiday concert is December 4th at 7. Encore December 6th. It's mainly kids at 6 o'clock, and parents come at 7. Orchestra on December 3rd at 7. Key Club helped the Friends of the Cemetery yesterday pull flags off the veterans' graves. 4th graders are touring the Old Town Cemetery to learn local history, which I think is really good because they just had 30 stones refurbished so you can actually read them. I want to remind anybody out there who graduated from a county school and you're 18 to 23, you get free adult education classes. So we have a special building now. The old Akron New building is just for that. So if you're interested, go out there and apply. Last night, the Hall of Fame committee met, and our 5 new inductees are Matt Patrick, Andrew Miller, George Smiley, Michelle Elligot, and Patrick Thompson. And Ilo Stockman, grandmother of basketball player Tony Stockman, who was a cafeteria manager at Canavan for 20 years, passed away at the age of 90. Thank you.
Amy.
Certainly. All right, so since the last meeting, right after that, we went to the high school and gave an award. And then after that, of course, I always bring up the band. Our marching band was getting ready for state competitions, so our admin team wonderfully came out there and wished them well, which was very nice. And then the next day, my daughter and I, who graduated last year and really misses band, we went down to Columbus and cheered them on. The band got their 23rd superior rating, so that was wonderful. The next week, They did again. We hosted at Medina the OMEA state competition for several other schools at Duke Stadium, and a lot of our parents and students really stepped up and helped out with that. It turned out really to be a nice day, thank heavens, as well. Then I also assisted with Stuff the Bus, which was a neat experience. I truly did not anticipate how many people from the community do read the papers, do read the social media, and bring their gently used coats and hats, mittens, snow pants. I actually spoke with the gentleman who was doing that, and he told me that we collected over 500 coats. So it's just heartwarming and warming in and of itself. Also, otherwise, I attended the policy meeting and the facilities meetings. Always very interesting to see what all is going on in our district. So thank you.
You want me to go first, or you want to go last?
I'll go. But thank
Okay,
you.
go ahead.
But thank you. Just to follow up with what Mrs. Moyer said, just a thank you to our community. We have a very generous community for donating those items to the Stuff the Bus campaign. Thank you. And I wanted to congratulate our newly elected and our one re-elected board member, and thank all of the candidates for caring enough about our school district to run. Campaigning for public office can be a slog, and it takes a lot to put yourself out there. I'm grateful that we have community members that are interested in serving, and it is important to continue to keep our local control of our school district. The only other thing I wanted to mention is, I mentioned this to Mrs. Cassidy a while ago, but I had attended a webinar about, it was focused on high school students and college students about finding employment and what skills employers are looking for, and it consisted of 4 employers. And one of the things that they were talking about was project-based learning. And it was so interesting because as I'm watching this, I'm thinking, we are doing this. You know, they were encouraging parents to look for these things and students to pursue these things in their districts. And I was just overjoyed because I'm like, we're already doing this. We are a leader. We are ahead of the curve. So I just, again, wanted to shout out to our curriculum department, all of our teachers, everyone involved, our principals, in encouraging this, not making it just dessert, making it a full course. And we are doing such great things, and we just need to always share with everyone all the great things that we are doing at our district and what great staff and students we have. So thank you for all of your hard work. In the spirit of Thanksgiving coming up and dishing out some honey, I think is what we talked about at our opening day. Thank you to everybody.
All right. I'm not going to congratulate our new board members-elect and our returning one because I called them the night of the election after the results were in, late, but I did it. Yes, I'm sorry. I just wanted to congratulate you. Anyways, but I did want to say about the election, you know, anytime we have an election in this country, that's the great American experiment known as democracy at work. And doesn't matter who wins or loses, but it's the process and the fact that we get to go vote and choose who we want in our elected officials. So that's the part that I truly am thankful for in this country. Looking forward to the candlelight parade on the 23rd and ride the bus again. That's always fun. I do want to shout out to Mrs. Jones' kindergarten class for sending me a whole bunch of thank you little notes. I received that, and I got to go read to them a month ago, and they all sent me a nice little card, and it was kind of nice little thing to have. And just on the project-based learning and the things that we do here, as Ryan mentioned, I remoted in from the facilities meeting because I was on vacation visiting my mother in South Carolina. But I had a nice long discussion with my sister who has 2 daughters in their public school system, and she was telling me about this new thing called project-based learning that they were just starting this year. And I just looked at her and go, yeah, we've been doing that for a very, very long time. So it's new to them, not to us. So that means we're on the forefront. So, and that is a good thing. And that is all I have. Do we have any public participation? No, I will just move past that to treasurer's action items. G.
Yes, if it pleases the board. Item number 1, it's recommended the Board of Education approve the October 25 Treasurer's Financial Report. Item number 2, it is recommended the Board of Education approve the following supplemental to the 25-26 permanent improvement. We have Claggett principal account monies, Feed the Bees at the high school, DC and other trips at Claggett, and Link Crew at the high school. Number 3, it's recommended that Medina City School District Board of Education approve the engagement of Ray and Associates Incorporated to compile the annual basic financial statements for the fiscal year ending June 30th, 2025. The financial statements will include the related notes to the financial statements and be accompanied by a managerial discussion and analysis and pension/OPEB related schedules, which are considered required supplemental information to the basic financial statements in accordance with accounting principles generally accepted in the United States of America.
I would entertain a motion on treasurer's action items. Number 1, the financial report. Number 2, the supplemental to permanent appropriations. And number 3, the GAAP engagement letter for fiscal year 25.
I'll make a motion to approve action items G1 through 3.
I'll second.
Thank you. Are there any questions or comments from anybody? Hearing none, Mr. Chambers, when you're ready.
Mr. Nichols?
Aye.
Ms. Pritchard?
Aye.
Ms. Parkhurst?
Aye.
Ms. Smoyer?
Aye.
Mr. West?
Yes.
Thank you.
Mr. Sable, your action items, please.
It is recommended that the Board of Education accept the following donations to Medina City Schools. I want to thank Plastipac, Mr. West's employer, for their annual donation of water bottles to our cross-country annual Milt Place Festival. I'd also like to point out the donation for technology equipment to the technology department from the athletic boosters, and that donation was to refresh the distance learning lab for the athletic department as well as other meetings. Also, a donation from window branding decals from Herf Jones. If you haven't noticed, the new flashy windows on the front and side of the high school, those were all donated to the district. Number 2 is field trips. It is recommended that the Board of Education approve the following overnight field trips in compliance with Policy 2340. All of these recommended field trips are camps that our students and organizations have participated in the past. Most of these are occurring over the winter break period. Number 3 is transportation. It is recommended that the Board of Education approve the attached parental transportation contract for the 25-26 school year. We occasionally get these recommendations coming out of transportation. If we have a student that is not feasible for us to transport on our own, or is a cost savings to go into contract with the parent for transportation. Number 4 is the roofing project, which Ryan had mentioned earlier this evening. It is recommended that the Board of Education adopt the following resolution for professional roofing service to replace the Performing Arts Center theater roof, Section O or 0, with alternate items 1A and 1C per attached at the cost of $119,000. That is a project that is really needing to be completed. I know there's been some patchwork up there to make sure or to limit the leaks as we move through the season and head to next summer. I do appreciate the work to go out and rebid that to get additional bids, because that resulted in a substantial cost savings for the district. And number 4 is personnel. It is recommended that the Board of Education approve the following personnel recommendations pending completion of all required paperwork to the Human Resources Office.
I'll entertain a motion to accept Superintendent Action Items H.
I'll make a motion to.
Second? Anybody?
Second.
Thank you. Any questions or comments from anybody? Over here? No? Mr. Chambers, when you're ready, please.
Ms. Smoyer,
Aye.
Mr. Nichols,
Aye.
Ms. Parkhurst,
Aye.
Ms. Pritchard,
Aye.
Mr. West.
Yes.
Thank you.
I would now entertain a motion to enter into executive session to consider the appointment, employment, dismissal, discipline, or compensation of a public employee or official, discussion with the board's legal counsel of disputes involving the board that are subject to pending or imminent court action, and that's it. Do I have your second first?
I'll make such motion.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you. Any questions or comments on that? No? Mr. Chambers?
Ms. Parkhurst,
Aye.
Mr. Nichols,
Aye.
Ms. Pritchard,
Aye.
Ms. Smoyer,
Aye.
Mr. West.
Yes.
Thank you.
And we will not be taking any action following executive session. And that's it, everybody. Thank you very much.